Every nation has spies: the CIA, MI6, the KGB, Mossad, names that inspire fear, respect, and suspicion. But among them, one agency stands apart, an agency so secretive, so elusive, that even other spies whisper its name with caution. This is the story of the most mysterious spy agency on earth, where truth hides behind coded whispers and nothing is ever what it seems. In the modern imagination, espionage is often dressed up in Hollywood glamour, James Bond gadgets, CIA thrillers, and flashy action scenes. But the real world of intelligence is far darker, far quieter, and far more complicated. Espionage isn't about style, it's about survival. For governments, it's the ultimate weapon to manipulate, to disrupt, and sometimes to eliminate. Among the world's powerful agencies, the CIA dominates headlines with its enormous budget and worldwide influence. MI6 is steeped in centuries of tradition and has been immortalized in British culture. The KGB, though long gone, remains a legend of Cold War intrigue and ruthlessness. But there is one agency that doesn't seek the spotlight, doesn't announce its victories, and doesn't admit to its failures. Its weapon is silence, and its identity is secrecy itself. The agency was born out of luxury or ambition, but of sheer necessity. Created in a small, vulnerable nation surrounded by enemies, it has no choice but to be effective, or its nation would not survive. Unlike the CIA or MI6, which were built as arms of great powers, this agency was built as a shield. From its earliest days, it was tasked not with projecting dominance, but ensuring survival. Its first mission already set the tone: sabotage, deep cover infiltration, and targeted assassinations, all conducted in the shadows, with deniability as its great weapon. Files were sealed, identities were erased, stories became whispers, and whispers became legends. While American scandals leaked into newspapers and British operatives sometimes wrote memoirs, this agency cultivated silence. It refused the stage, and in doing so, it made itself even more feared. Throughout the Cold War, while the CIA and KGB grabbed headlines and fed pop culture, this agency stayed quiet. Yet its reputation grew, with each mysterious event linked back to it. When enemies of its nation suddenly disappeared, when dangerous plots were mysteriously foiled, when secrets too well guarded were somehow stolen, speculation always led back here. But proof was rarely found, and that was exactly the point. One of the first operations that brought this agency global recognition was the Entebbe raid of 1976. Terrorists had hijacked a plane and diverted it to Uganda. The odds of survival for the hostages seemed impossible, and yet, in a lightning operation, commandos rescued almost everyone. To this day, the mission is studied in military academies. But what is less known is how this agency gathered intelligence so precise it made the raid possible. Who inside Uganda cooperated? How did they map the airport in such detail? Even decades later, the intelligence work behind the operation remains cloaked in mystery. Then there are the assassinations, enemies of the state. Thousands of miles away, eliminated with precision. Officially, nothing is confirmed. Unofficially, the traits always led back here. Journalists and historians continue to debate who ordered them and how they were carried out, and where they involved sleeper agents who lived under false identities for years. Every rumor adds another layer of mystique. Every unexplained death becomes another ghost story attributed to this agency. The legends don't stop here. Nuclear secrets, some of the most guarded information on Earth, were allegedly penetrated by its operatives. Reports claim that scientists were recruited, facilities were infiltrated, and technology was smuggled, all without triggering alarms. Even the most secure governments admitted, sometimes quietly, that their defenses had been breached in ways they couldn't explain. Again, no names, no details, just speculation. And speculation is often more powerful than truth. But what makes this agency even more unique is the way it treats allies. In the world of espionage, cooperation between agencies is common. The CIA and MI6 often share intelligence. European services rely on one another for counterterrorism. But this agency, it operates like a lone wolf. It collaborates when it benefits, but it never shares everything. There are documented cases where American and British intelligence was turned by operations carried out without their knowledge. Operations so bold they reshaped regional politics. For allies, the secrecy is both frustrating and intimidating because if you don't know what your friend is doing, how can you truly trust them? That's why even the CIA, with its satellites in the sky and billions of black budgets, has admitted privately that it cannot always track what this agency is doing, and that is terrifying. In espionage, knowledge is power, but ignorance breeds fear, and the less others know about you, the more they fear what you might be capable of. The true genius of this agency lies not just in its operations, but in the legend it has built around itself. Everything is classified. Budgets are undisclosed. The number of operatives is unknown. Failures are never admitted, and successes are rarely confirmed. Former agents do not write best-selling memoirs. Popular culture has only scraps to work with, fragments of stories, whispers of rumors. Unlike the CIA, it does not bask in media attention. Unlike MI6, it has no cinematic franchise. Instead, it cultivates an aura of silence, and in that silence, it becomes larger than life. Because mystery is not a weakness, mystery is a weapon. When you don't know what your enemy can do, you imagine the worst. And when you imagine the worst, you give them power. By saying less, this agency achieves more. Its silence is more frightening than the noise of others. Think of it. The CIA has been exposed by scandals, from failed coups to controversial wars. MI6 has been humanized by Hollywood. Even the KGB eventually fell to history. But this agency, it endures. It adapts. It continues to strike from the shadows, leaving behind only questions. It is feared not only by its enemies but respected and sometimes resented by its allies. So is this truly the most mysterious spy agency on earth, or is it the greatest achievement convincing us of its legend? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Perhaps the silence is by design and the mystery itself is the ultimate operation, an operation that has lasted decades. In the end, the line between fact and fear disappears, and in that space is that silence. The agency continues to thrive, and as you think about that, consider this. What happens when the mysterious agency goals collide with those of other intelligence powerhouse? One like the CIA, allies on paper, rivals in practice, both playing the same dangerous game. In our next video, we'll explore the hidden war between the CIA and Mossad, two allies, two competitors, and the secret operations they never wanted the world to know about.